Wings win, first of the season, but definitely not the last. What the heck is up? Welcome back to the DLLS Wing Show. I am your host, Erika Day. I'm joined by none other than Bobby himself. Bobby, how the heck are you? We got a Wings win to talk about.
I am great, Erika. It's a good time to be alive. It's a great time to be a Wings fan. They did win a game. First of, you said it's not their last. I'm going to say it's the first of several, maybe even dozens.
Ooh, dozens. I like that. You know, I was pulling for the Mercury to go 44-0. They already screwed that up. So I don't want to be too wrong about the Wings record either. You know what I mean? I like to be right. You know, I like winning. I like being right, you know? So at least the Wings are getting me right this week by winning their first game against the Connecticut Sun. I mean, this is exciting times to be a Wings fan. I mean, they've been struggling. So to see them kind of find their light and find their way a little bit in this game versus the Connecticut Sun was pretty exciting. I was a little busy this week. Have you had a good week outside of the Wings basketball, Bobby? I haven't gotten to talk to you much.
It's been a pretty good week. Unfortunately, the Stars are playing hockey right now. That one's been pretty tough to watch the last few games. So it's not all sunshine and roses here in DFW, but the Wings are turning around, and that's really all that matters. So the basketball is looking up. Everything else is on hold. You what?
We don't even have a hockey team. So, I mean, just take your wins as you can get them. It's awful. It's just as awful as you can imagine, you know?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
But nonetheless,
the vibe check just right off the rip is just like horrendous.
It's awful. I mean, what the heck? Hockey belongs in the desert just like the WNBA. They go hand in hand as far as I'm concerned. Screw all this like nonsense about, oh, they need to build WNBA teams off of NBA's back. No, we should be moving with the NHL. I mean, just as physical of a sport, you know? I think it makes a lot more sense, honestly.
Absolutely. You're spitting. You're spitting.
I love that Bobby's feeding into this right now, but we do got to get into it because Paige had a historic performance, throughout her first 5 games. And I want to make sure that we don't undersell what this means for the Wings franchise. I mean, 8 of 10 scoring in the win over Connecticut, 21 points, historic stat line, first WNBA player to ever hit 60 points and 30 assists in her first 5 games. And I mean, the thing is that this is just scratching the surface for Paige Bueckers and what she's able to do for a franchise. And if you go back and you watch UConn games, you'll see like they needed time to figure it out with a player of Paige's caliber, which is saying something because UConn is a proven team that can win. And so the fact that they still needed to find their groove with a player like Paige really says something. But it also just says that, you know, that this team has quite a ceiling that they can get to. And I think it's built off the back of Paige. And when she's performing like this in front of her old UConn crowd, it's clear she's adjusting really quickly to her new team. And I think it will bode really well for the Wings for weeks, if not months to come.
Yeah, 1 week ago today, we were all kind of like, all right, I mean, you lose to Minnesota twice, not that big of a deal. They were pretty competitive, especially in that second game. Maybe they're starting to figure it out, and then they play Atlanta, and we're all just kind of looking at each other like, oh, boy, I don't know about this. And then they win, and all is well, and they're about to win tonight, too. We'll talk about that later, but there is this, like, with rookies, especially in the WNBA, really, really tough league to be a rookie in. Like, it's such a leap, and you've just played a full college season. Like, there's many, many reasons why it's tough to adjust, especially as a guard. But there is this kind of, when you watch guards especially play, there's like this je ne sais quoi, like this like smoothness of running an offense, and I feel like that's definitely taken a step forward. I clipped a couple plays. If we could show Elijah, so before you can go take care of what you need to take care of, can we show the first play? So I really like that they've been running a lot more like this kind of pistol action, these little pitch and catch handoff style plays. So Paige gets this ball from Aisha Hines-Allen, who absolutely buries Marina Mabry off the screen. And what that does is lets Paige settle into this little cozy mid-range pull-up. And she's doing that off a handoff way easier because you're getting the ball without having to break your defender down or set them up off the dribble or whatever. You're not having to make a move. It's just, I'm going to pass the ball to you and I'm going to come get it. By the time I catch that, I already have an advantage, and she's able to do a one dribble or no dribble pull-up. She loves that little mid-range elbow area pull-up, and that's a nice, easy way to get her a good look. And they also did something a little different, too, in transition. So this is early in the shot clock, the second play. There's 20 seconds left in the possession, and Alyssa Smith is already setting a screen for her way out near midcourt. This is kind of like a super-duper high screen, almost a step-up screen. Paige is able to turn the corner, floor it, get past her defender, draw the help, and then it's just an easy drop-off pass for Myisha Hines-Allen right at the rim. And so it's another example of just like, let's just make things easy. All of this stuff is happening early in the shot clock. It's ball movement. It's running around. It's getting the defense off balance, using Alyssa Smith in that second clip, her gravity as a shooter to pull her defender away and turn it into like a 2-on-1 right at the rim. Like, it's just better stuff, but it's like unscripted. It's like this read and react kind of thing that you just get used to from playing with each other so much.
Well, and so I want to tell you something about the mid-range. I don't know if you are familiar with this term. We have a name for the mid-range here in Phoenix. Are you familiar with the manure range?
Excuse me?
Also known as the manure strip. It's the mid-range shot in WNBA.
Okay.
And if you ever listen to me talk about college basketball, it is the lowest percentage shot in college basketball for women, is that mid-range pull-up jumper. Paige Bueckers, that is her shot. It is the shot that she wants. And you can see it in the fact that the Dallas Wings have the third highest percentage of their points from the mid-range. And it is not their manure strip. It is the manure strip for the league, but not the Dallas Wings.
I love that term, and I fully agree. It is a low percentage shot unless you're really good at making them.
Right.
You know, if you're really
unless
good
you're
at
Erika or Paige, I don't want to see you really taking that shot out of anything really. Like,
exactly.
it just
and defenses, like, they want to give up that shot because the alternative, and we're going to see this a lot over the next couple games when they're playing the sky and they're bigs that have kind of struggled to defend in space. If these bigs are stepping out to defend a guard coming off a screen, going full speed right at them, like, the alternative is stepping out far, and you're risking Paige or Erika or whoever just blowing right past you, getting to the rim and laying it in or dropping off, whatever. So you kind of want to sit back, but then you're giving Paige room, and it's an open 15-footer. Like, she's going to make that 9 times out of 10 in her sleep.
I also, really quickly, Bobby, I saw some beef this morning on Twitter, and, you know, it's not exactly the most friendly place to talk about the WNBA, but I saw some folks saying that Paige Bueckers is not the best pure scorer in the league, and I have to cook about this real quick because we're 5 games into the season. Her shooting lines are better than Caitlin's were at this point in the season, and that's who the direct comparison was being made to. And you're not going to tell me that 8 for 10 is less efficient than the 6 for 18 that I saw versus the Liberty that Caitlin Clark put up in the last game she played before she was injured. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Caitlin Clark is not one of the greatest women's basketball players of our time, literally. But I'm tired of this prerogative and this narrative that Paige Bueckers is not quite literally her. And you are only, I said it earlier, you're only scratching the surface with what you're seeing right now. And so I just got really frustrated because everyone asked for a grace period with Caitlin Clark last year. And I respected that grace period. You know, like Bobby was saying, they roll fresh out of college basketball and into the most competitive basketball that they've ever played. And so fatigue obviously plays a part in that. But at the same time, Paige Bueckers has been her, and I'm tired of the disrespect being thrown on her name in order to give somebody else's flowers. You can give Paige her flowers for being a great facilitator, a great playmaker, and a great shot maker, and still give other players their due credit for being great basketball players. But I'm so tired of the comparisons of rookie year to rookie year. Like, they get a grace period. They get to adjust to the WNBA. They get some time to learn their new teammates who they've never played basketball with before. So, yeah, I saw that tweet this morning. I guess Colin Cowherd had some words to say about Paige Bueckers being the best pure scorer. Listen, I'm a Cowherd girl, sorry to say, and he was saying that Paige is the best pure scorer in the league, and the fans didn't really like that too much. I saw the replies to that; they were nasty. So, yeah, all that to say, Paige Bueckers is her. You guys aren't even familiar with the ceiling yet. I want you to know that my college basketball team beat hers in the Final Four. Okay, bark, 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 bark.
Chill out, calm down.
I told you I was low energy. I lied. We're not going to be disrespecting her by saying that there are better scorers than her, because at this point in her career, she's proven otherwise. She is the playmaker in times of need. So I won't be settling for that. The Rookie of the Year race, in my opinion, has really just begun with that first Wings win. You can't count Paige Bueckers out of anything ever, especially Rookie of the Year. She hears the squabbles going around about how Kiki and Sonia have that race locked up in Washington, and Paige hears that, and she's going to have a word with all of you. So I say give it time. Paige Bueckers is adjusting, and we're seeing the fruits of her adjustment labor right now.
Very well said. Very well said. Completely agree. I think, standum is good because it reflects like complete passion and devotion to the game and to your favorite player, whatever. But like, let's all lay down our arms a little bit here. I think the best thing that you could hope for as a stan is that both Caitlin and Paige, or Caitlin and Angel Reese, or whichever players you want to position against one another, like they're all just getting started, which means this is the beginning of a very long, beautiful journey that we're going to be. We could be arguing for the next 2 decades. Don't empty the clip right now. Right. This is just the beginning.
Hello, 39 more games. Like, I still feel this like overwhelmed sense of pride and joy when I'm watching Paige suit up in a Wings jersey, because she's seeing the biggest goal of her life come true. And you're going to not give her a grace period to adjust? I mean, please be so egregiously serious. They got a new coach, an entire new team outside of literally one person. I just think it requires a little bit of grace period. These rookies and all, this is a fantastic rookie class. I feel like last year's rookie class is going to get a lot of credit for the boost of popularity in women's basketball, and rightfully so. But Paige's rookie class is no freaking joke, and she's going to have some serious competition for Rookie of the Year. But I'm just tired of seeing people count her out. Like, we haven't barely even started the conversation, and y'all are counting out Paige Bueckers, Paige Buckets, for crying out loud, and you're going to count her out? Just doesn't make sense.
They lost a few games. Let's tap the brakes. However, if they lose the next few, it's time to rebuild. It's time. Blow it up. We're moving right. We're on the same page here. Blow it up.
I saw the trade machine the other day where the Wings fans are getting a little cuckoo for Cuckoo Puffs in those trade machines, okay?
No. Oh, no. It's just 5 games. Relax.
Don't trade away all your apples, folks, okay? Like, you have to keep the ducks in a row for the ducks to do their jobs,
We do have a super chat before we take our first break from Classic Stang Lover. Coming in with the $9.99. Shout out Classic Stang Lover. T has talent, but just not the mindset for the position. Why does everyone in the organization have to congratulate and clap for her on any good day? Isn't she a max player? Presumably, I mean, leaning into Myisha Hines-Allen and Tiara McCowan, kind of both of them. Myisha Hines-Allen didn't get off to the best start. Tiara had a couple good games early. Maybe it's like, okay, should we make the switch? But then I think Myisha's been better the last couple games. But yeah, I mean, I think any way you slice it, Erika, center is a bit of a weak spot for this team right now.
I feel like mostly across the league, if teams have a weak spot, it's in that center position. And so, yeah, I'm not really shocked, but I do feel like people aren't giving Myisha Hines-Allen time to kind of find herself within the system. She's an older player, but she's an all-star, and she played on a winning team last year, and she's going to continue to be a winning player. And so I think Myisha is finding herself, like I said, in a new system. And I think give it a little bit of time and she will play to the strengths of Paige and Erika and Melissa as well as Dejanay. But Myisha is one of those players that she is good in the clutch. And you want the ball to be able to be in her hands, if you have to feed it into the post player, you want it in Myisha Hines-Allen's hands. And so I'm never going to think a team is going to struggle because they have Myisha Hines-Allen on their team. I will say Tierra McCowan, I think the minutes split will probably change a lot throughout the season, just depending on who's hot and who's not. But they do need to find some serious depth. But I think, just truthfully, I don't think there's a whole lot of players available that they'll go find right now. And so it'll be one of those things that they'll have to address in the offseason next year.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's just year one. So the more you can learn about, Paige and Erika, specifically that duo, how they like to play, the kinds of players that complement not just Erika, who you know very well by now, but also Paige, who you're learning a lot about. You have a lot of time, to figure it out, and hopefully they can. All right, coming up next, we're going to keep talking about all sorts of stuff. They're about to play the Sky. Kevin Gray is going to join us. It's going to be a great time. Let's talk basketball right after this on the DLLS Wings podcast. But first, the future is awfully bright around here, so get ready not just for the season ahead, but for the years to come with our friends at Shady Rays. They got you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company. They've gotten more than 300,000 five-star ratings. You think those people are lying? You think they're messing with you? I'm one of them. These are Shady Rays. I love these things, and if anything happens to them, if one of you freaks try and steal them, if I lose them because I'm a clumsy oaf, if they get damaged, heck, if I get a new pair and I don't like them, they have the best eyewear protection in the game. You can return them, get a refund. There is literally no risk. They got so many different kinds of glasses to choose from, too. They probably have a style in your favorite team's colors, whether you like the Wings, whether you like the blue, whether you like the green, whether you like the blue and the green, it doesn't matter. They got you covered. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal this season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code DLLS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Also, let's talk about game time. The glasses got to come off for this one, folks. It is tough getting seats in arenas. Those tickets go fast, and when they do, you got a bunch of people trying to steal an arm and a leg from you just to get seats to see your favorite team. Like, for example, when the Wings go to American Airlines Center to take on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, or if you ever just want to go out and see a normal home game, or if you ever want to go out to an NFL game, or an NBA game, or an NHL game, or whatever, it is tough to get in there. But Game Time makes scoring tickets faster and easier. You can find seats for very affordable prices, and they're not going to rip you off or dupe you. They're all in pricing. You're going to see exactly what you're paying up front before you get to the checkout screen. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account, use code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it, Elijah? Elijah!
Game time?
That's right.
Boy, yell it for him if it wasn't going to work out. KG! Oh, my goodness. My tag team partners here. How's it going, everybody?
Oh, I like what you did there. What's going on? How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling dandy, although I do feel like this would be a hell of a triple threat match. You know what I mean?
You know what? We would have to find a way to find an opponent that would deal with this triple threat, because I think us as a trio, we could finally win a championship or two, I'm sure.
Yeah, they whoever got nothing on us, I'm taking us over everybody. But I do, KG, I'm glad you're here, because I'm going to move the show notes out around a little bit. So I'm sorry in advance, Bobby, but KG's here and I want to make sure we respect his time. I don't know what's going on at his house, so I want to make sure that all of those things are sorted out. But the Wings are headed to a kind of a back-to-back against the Sky. Not exactly a back-to-back because there's a day in between, but this is a big game. I feel like both of these games are huge for the Wings because both of them are winnable games. One of them at home, one of them on the road. Obviously, it's a little more difficult to win games like this on the road. But as you look ahead to this matchup versus the Sky, what kind of excites you about the Wings and their ability to win the game? And how do you think that ability can be unlocked for this team?
Yeah, I got a bit of a home and home going here with Dallas going to Chicago, and then Chicago following Dallas back here for the game on Saturday. I think one of the things that can excite you about tonight's game is that, Dallas scored 109 points against Connecticut on Tuesday, and the Sky are by far the worst in the W in terms of opponents' points per game. They're giving up over 94 points per game, which is a full 6 points worse than the Connecticut Sun. So that just gives you an idea that if the Wings can be able to not only get out in transition, but more so what they did against, Connecticut, they were 50% from three. They go 10 to 20 from downtown, and they were able to really force the issue against Connecticut by getting 10 steals in that game. So if they're able to knock down some shots from the outside, push the tempo against a team in, Chicago that could rebound the heck out of the basketball. I mean, they're taking on the number one rebounder in the league in Angel Reese, who's averaging 14 boards a game. If you can limit her on the glass a little bit, I know it's going to be tough because the Wings are a little bit smaller. But if they can get out and just push pace against Chicago, I think they've got a chance to be able to get it done tonight on the road.
Yeah, I mean, if they can put up enough points, the rebounding becomes a lesser of an issue, right? I always hear the Mercury coach talk about, oh, well, we missed a lot of shots, so there was a lot of rebounds up for grab. And, if they can convert on the shots that they want, then it becomes a way lesser of an issue for them. And then they can close out on those defensive possessions as well and just keep Angel off of the offensive boards. I think that's a much easier feat than trying to defeat her all the way around. I think to your point, the guard play in Chicago is going to benefit the Wings. I think Courtney Vandersloot is a fantastic point guard. She brought a championship to the Chicago Sky. She also brought a championship most recently to the New York Liberty. But she's a little older, and I think the speed of the Dallas Wings can very easily get her, for lack of a better term, on her rear. So I'm excited. I think it could be a really fun game. I think, again, both games are super winnable, whether at home or on the road, no matter how you look at it. I actually think the biggest key for them is to make sure that Ariel Atkins doesn't go off. I think if they can keep Courtney Vandersloot to her average numbers, and same thing with Angel Reese, keep them just average. But if they stop Ariel Atkins from going off in any way, shape, or form, or any of their bench 3-point scorers like Beck Allen or Rachel Banham, then the Wings are in business.
Dejanay Carrington, step up. Let's go. Chicago, so they take 72 shots a game, which leads the league. They just throw stuff up and their bigs go and get it. If you can just get pretty good contests on these shots, it's all like the fundamentals. Just box out. Just go find someone and push them as far away from the rim as you possibly can. Go up and grab that ball, and let's get out and run. Because like you said, I mean, their guards they're struggling to get back in transition. They're struggling to defend in the half court. Paige and Erika have speed. They can pull up from anywhere. It's going to be it's like a jumbo team that wants to just lob it up and see what happens versus a team that's a little smaller, but they will absolutely blitz you in the open floor.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Dejanay Carrington. I think one of the things I liked in the game against Connecticut, she was hunting for her shot early on. She got 5 quick points. She was able to knock down a 3 and was aggressive offensively. So I think for me, how aggressive they push pace against Chicago was going to be fun to watch. You mentioned Courtney Vandersloot, who's been one of the best guards in the league, for 10 years at this point and more. Paige Bueckers versus Courtney Vandersloot is going to be fun because you got the young rookie, the hot shot rookie who's, setting records and everything else versus the old grizzled veteran who's been terrific for years in this league, as you mentioned, helped lead the Liberty to a title, helped lead Chicago to a title. Paige is going to have some rookie moments tonight in terms of learning what it is to play against a guard that is as good as Courtney is, and that's going to be fun to watch in terms of if you're looking for individual matchups that I think could be intriguing tonight. Courtney and Paige going at it should be pretty fun to watch too.
And I see it in the comments, but I kind of was hoping for the same. I hope we see some Zia James minutes tonight. I think the matchup is there for her, and I think this is a really good game to give her that opportunity. As far as length goes, how much better does it get? And so I just think that she would, like I said, she fits the scout extremely well versus a team like Chicago.
I think the challenge, right, is because Chicago's backline is so tall, even if you have a step on them, they could still maybe recover and get a hand up, right, and block that shot. So I think I trust Paige's and Erika's vision and experience and stuff to make those decisions, but you're gonna have to make those choices. Do I have the space to get the shot off, or do I need to kick it out and find a shooter? I guess that is the the big challenge. Because I mean the Sky are just, they're so big, they're so tall back there with Cardoso and Angel Reese in them. But I mean they struggle to defend in space.
And we talk about all the time when you're facing a team as big as Chicago, team rebounding. Everyone is going to have to crash the glass. I'm talking about Maddie. I'm talking about Tierra McCowan. I'm talking about everyone's going to have to crash the glass tonight against a very, very good rebounding team in Chicago, who's number one in the NBA, or excuse me, in the WNBA in terms of offensive rebounds. They're collecting, 10 offensive rebounds, 12.8 offensive rebounds per game. Actually, Dallas is number 2 at 10.2 offensive boards. So collectively crashing the glass tonight is going to be a theme. I'm looking, like I said, at Maddie. I'm looking at Tierra McCowan to be able to do some of that as well. And for Dallas, try to avoid giving up the big quarter. We've seen that a few times so far this season. They were able to turn that around, against Connecticut, where they outscored them, what was 33-18 in a big quarter that they had to help put the game, away on Tuesday. So if they can avoid giving up, the big quarter, but also team rebounding tonight, I think it's going to be a big key for Dallas, as Bobby mentioned, against a front line in Chicago that is as big as they are with Angel and Camila Cardoso there.
What is the number one risk whenever you try and crash the glass? If you got 2 or 3 people around the rim trying to get a rebound and you don't get the rebound, then you only got 2 or 3 people back on defense.
Yeah.
Sky I literally just had this sorted. 3rd from the worst in opponent fast break points per game. Wings are 4th in fast break points per game. Get it out. Go. Run as fast as you can. Just keep running as fast as you can right there. Just keep going forward.
Well, and I mean, they've played such good defenses so far, the Wings. And so to play someone that's not as competitive on the defensive end is going to maybe rest some tired legs tonight. You know what I mean?
Don't jinx it. This is a very tough game. We all must approach it with very serious convictions.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that, maybe just maybe they don't have to sprint their little rear ends off,
Well,
okay.
I mean, you got to be careful because, we saw, better than anyone, Erika, what happened on Tuesday with Chicago and Phoenix. I mean, Chicago was up 16 in that second half, and it took a hell of a comeback from Phoenix to be able to get that done, to beat a winless Chicago team. Now, obviously, AT, doing what she did in the second half was cooking. But Chicago's a competitive team, and if you're the Wings, you cannot take this team lightly because they're looking to get their first win of the year, and they felt like they should have had it on Tuesday on the road in Phoenix before they gave up that comeback. So the Wings better bring their A game because otherwise they could be on the business end of a bad loss on the road against Chicago. Because I thought they were very competitive and played well against Phoenix, but obviously they just couldn't hold on to it on Tuesday on the road there.
I wish y'all could have seen me watching that game from my concert seat. I had the whole row pulling for the Phoenix Mercury. You know what I mean?
Let's go. You're watching a game at a
during-
concert? Was it like in between sets or was it like during the set?
No, I promise you, during the set, I'm like, okay, just wanted to make sure we're all good. You guys carry on. Go ahead, Kendrick Lamar. Go ahead, do what you need to do. I just wanted to make sure Satu got her 20 points real quick. Sorry, that was probably a little harsh.
Yeah, take it easy.
For this particular pod. My bad, guys.
I mean, I respect the commitment. Like during a song you don't like, and you're like, all right, let's just get some wandering eyes. Let's see what's going on. I respect that. That is true basketball sicko behavior. It's inconsiderate of them to even have scheduled the concert on the same day as the Sky game. Like, who did that? I need to talk to the Phoenix planning department because I just feel we could have had the whole Phoenix Mercury roster in that arena and it would have been even more lit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Missed opportunity, I feel like, on all parties, Kendrick Lamar, what a marketing standpoint that is for him, to just have the whole Phoenix Mercury on the stage with him.
I mean, I'm guilty of watching Mavs games sometimes when I'm at a WWE event. So I'll have the phone while I'm watching a Mavs game at the same time. It happens. You got to multitask. You got to be able to multitask. That's all.
You never stop sportsing, KG. I respect
that is true,
that
Bobby.
Too.
That is 100% true. That's a very true statement.
Kevin, are you sticking around for the next segment, or do you got to go handle stuff? I don't know.
I got to go be an adult, unfortunately, and go handle stuff.
Do you have any hot Louisa takes before we get out of here? We do have a super chat from Classic Stangler, another one from Classic Stangler over 199. Thoughts on Louisa? Of course, Louisa Geisel-Sutter.
Yeah, she was able to get her first minutes of the season on Tuesday against Connecticut. So I'm just interested to see how they continue to acclimate her and get her used to the WNBA game and how they slowly bring her along. But hey, she might have to get some minutes tonight, given what they could be doing against Chicago, and if they get some of their front court players in foul trouble. So we might see her make a little bit of an appearance tonight early on, but. Bringing her along slowly, I think, is the right thing for her, given what she's acclimating for as far as the game.
For sure. Well, shout out to Classic Stang Lover. And
shout out to Classic Stang Lover spending all the money. Did so during the Mavs, our DLLS Mavs show earlier today, and now, cooking with the Wings show. So shout out to you, Classic Stang Lover.
LFG.
Maybe I need to get your job. You're spending all that money today. Good gracious.
Kevin, good luck with your home stuff. I don't know. It sounds stressful to me. You're talking to an apartment lover.
Well, I'm trying to board up my house so I don't break things when the Dallas Stars play the Edmonton Oilers tonight and potentially choke away lose the series tonight.
I can't do it, man. I just can't.
I'm gonna have the Wings on. I'm gonna have the Stars game on. Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals too. So a lot going on in my household. Multiple TVs and screens will be utilized in my household. So
can I just say, I know for a fact that God put me on this earth to be on podcast with KG. I have zero doubts in my mind.
Oh, that's sweet. I love that.
We were destined to be together on this pod.
Love it.
It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
It's a beautiful
have a good rest of the show. Appreciate y'all. All right. We'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks, KG.
Bye, KG.
You got it.
All right, so we got to hit a break here. Coming up, we still got a lot to talk about, actually. We got Diana Taurasi praise to talk about. We got some hot local political developments to talk about, and a whole lot more. So don't go anywhere. This is the DLLS Wings podcast. But first, you, and I'm talking to you right now. You know who you are. It's time to become a diehard. We're running our best deal ever. It's the start of summer. It's a wonderful time of year. It's been hot here. It's been hot in Phoenix, but it's finally starting to warm up everywhere else in America. So to mark the occasion, it's just $36 to become a diehard if you sign up right now. This deal ends, what's today, Thursday? It ends tonight, I think. I'm pretty sure it ends tonight, so you want to act now. Oh, it ends this
today.
Moment.
This is the last day.
Yeah, so then what are you
doing?
doing?
This is your last chance.
Scan the QR code before you go to the pool, all right? It'll take you to a website where for just $36, that is $3 a month, you can join the growing legion of DLLS diehards. Hey, if you just love Erika Day and you live in Phoenix, you want to be a Phoenix diehard, do that instead. But also become a DLS diehard. It's just so cheap. When you sign up, you get a free shirt of your choice. We got more than 40 to choose from, and we drop some more all the time. This one in Wings colors. Shout out to this shirt. I love this one. I actually have 2 of these. I like it that much. You get a free shirt of your choice. All you got to do is pay shipping. You also get a discount on any other merch you could possibly want. You get a discount on any events we do. You get to join the DLS Diehard Discord Lounge. Great place to hang out with, I believe, we're over 1,500 diehards now. We got some day oneers in here. I see Ben in the chat. GM Ben and Ben Selheim. That's 2 day oneers. All right, we got GM Ben and diehard Lieutenant Ben in the chat, and I see a lot of other familiar faces as well. Shout out to every single one of our diehards. You also want to become a diehard soon, because here in a couple weeks we're going to be doing – the diehards are actually going to choose what we're doing on our shows that day. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You also get to read all our written coverage at alldlls.com. We're covering every team in town, bringing you the latest news, rumors, hot goss, and a whole lot more. It is a great way to support what we're doing here. We're trying to bring you the best fun coverage of your favorite teams, and that is the number one way you can support us. So shout out to every single one of you who have taken advantage of our offer. And with that, let's get back to sports.
Bark, bark, bark. Well, we got to talk about my GOAT, Diana Taurasi, saying some words about young GOAT, Paige Bueckers. And I sent this article this morning and I was like, dang, could this be more freaking perfect for me personally to be speaking about? I don't think so. I feel like they wrote the article just for me. I mean, crying out loud. Listen, I'm going to say this nicely. And I've said this about a lot of people over the last 6 months. There's been a lot of movement surrounding Diana Taurasi's career, and that has lent itself to Diana talking to the media a lot more than normal. When Diana Taurasi talks about Paige Bueckers, you can see that she genuinely does believe that Paige is going to be the best. She says that she believes that Paige is going to be the best, but it's not necessarily what she says. It's the way she says it when she's talking about how grounded she is and how she makes everyone around her better. Those are all inclinations to me that, again, this is just the surface level to how good Paige is. And it all comes from within Paige. It's not like she needs to be coached up. It's not like she needs to be directed. She doesn't need to be developed into a higher IQ player. She just needs time to adjust. And when the GOAT of women's basketball, Mrs. 10,000 points, Mrs. all-time leading scorer, Mrs. three-time NCAA champion, Mrs. six-time Olympic gold medalist, is saying that you are going to be the best. Is that not believable enough for you? So
it's pretty high praise.
Isn't it? Oh my.
That is high praise. Can you, so, you know, there are a lot of people that have been following the WNBA. Like Diana Taurasi was winning whenever I was a kid. I've known who she is basically my entire life, you know. But what is she seems like not just a great basketball player, but also like maniacal, competitive, psycho freak about basketball.
Correct.
And so can you explain, for her to say that about someone and talk not just about her skill, but also her approach to the game and all of that stuff? Like, those words carry extra weight coming from someone like Diana Taurasi.
To contextualize this just a little bit for you, Diana Taurasi is currently 42 years old, and this is the first time she hasn't been playing in the WNBA in over 20 years. Again, three-time NCAA champion. She was a huge piece in Breanna Stewart even having the opportunity to four-peat in college. Diana Taurasi set the precedence for greatness. And what I mean by that is she eats, breathes, sleeps, showers, goes to the bathroom with basketball. She lives it in every way. She met her wife by winning a WNBA championship with her. There isn't, I can think of fewer people on this earth that truly love the game in the way that she does. And there are few people that understand the game at the level of which the likes of a Diana Taurasi are going to understand it. And so Diana sees things that even Ben, who just whipped out the clipboard and showed me that he knows X's and O's extremely well, Ben still probably couldn't speak level to level, eye to eye with Diana Taurasi about what Diana Taurasi is able to see on a basketball court. And Paige Bueckers is able to do so. Paige Bueckers is able to match that maniacal mindset that Ben was just talking about. Diana Taurasi is known amongst the league for having the most technical fouls, and not just because she liked to cuss out other players or maybe kiss Maisha Hines-Allen, ha, 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 ha. She actually just is very passionate about winning. And so that attitude is exactly the same of that of Paige Bueckers, and it comes from UConn. It comes from Gino. And I'm not saying that Paige didn't have that attitude before, but when you are bred for basketball in the way that Paige has been since she was at Hopkins in Minnesota, it is in your blood to be smart with the basketball. And Diana Taurasi sees that. Diana Taurasi understands it. And Diana Taurasi knows that the ceiling of which she can take the wings to with this basketball IQ. She knows how she can win. She knows how she can win for an entire franchise. And I don't mean do it all, but carry the back and carry the leadership load, carry the extra, on every team, there's a player that the head coaching staff looks to be kind of an extension of themselves on the court. Paige Bueckers is very much that for every team she's ever been on. And so once she is comfortable enough to do all of those things that I just talked about, she is going to be one of the greatest WNBA players of all time. And it's not me saying that. It is the greatest player to ever do it, Diana Taurasi, saying it. So I don't know how else I could convince you if all the things I just said didn't, and all the things Diana Taurasi has said hasn't. It's going to be until 44 games into the season until you believe how great Paige Bueckers is, because she's here and she's ready to be great. She just needs a little time to scratch the surface.
Erika, you were dropping mics left and right today. I just want to say that. Before the show, you were like, I don't know, recovering from this concert, kind of low energy, my voice hurts. No, absolutely positively spitting. We got the super chat from GM Ben too. Better show, The Weeknd or Kendrick and SZA?
Kendrick and SZA by a landslide.
Okay, how come?
And the weekend was still awesome, but the Kendrick and SZA set list is 51 songs. I knew 50 of 51 of those songs.
Wow,
Just to
okay. All right,
I
so
was
you're locked in.
carrying the whole, and I said arena earlier. I should have said it correctly. I was carrying the stadium. Okay, a
Oh,
football stadium of folks, and they were on my back through majority of those songs. So, get in the backpack. I'll carry you through whatever you need, whether it's a WNBA podcast, concert. I was literally telling them I had to be quiet the entire day yesterday, else I wouldn't have been able to be talking for 2 hours straight today. So, shout out to myself for knowing my limits.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. It's an important thing. You got another one, the hat trick from Classic Sting Lover, $1.99 super chat. Don't trade Paige. Sorry, still have trauma. That's an important point. And there's one connection between Paige and Luka that I kind of want to explore. Obviously, NBA and WNBA, different kinds of leagues, different, everything about them is different. So comparing them is just kind of, it is not necessarily appropriate to do. But there is one very important thing I think that Paige has in common with players like Luka and players even like Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, who you mentioned as well. Players that have been winning for their entire lives, not just playing great. There's a lot of great basketball players that play great in high school and play great in college and play great in the pros. There are great players. There are winners. There are great winning players. These are different kinds of things, right? And whenever you've won and excelled and lifted up your team and led and succeeded at the highest possible levels for years and years and years, before even becoming a pro, it's not just that winning is something that you consider to be cool. Winning is the expectation, and that is contagious. It's not just contained to you and to your friends and to the teammates on the team that you're cool with. That is infectious to the entire organization. That is a culture-changing, culture-setting, culture-establishing kind of tone. Paige Bueckers comes into this team, the Wings, who have, I believe in their franchise history, since moving to Dallas, won one playoff series. They've never been to a finals. They've never won trophies or anything in Dallas. That becomes the expectation. It's like everyone needs to reorient themselves. It's not just, let's just have a good year. Let's build a fun team. No, it's let's win a title. That's what she wants. That's what she expects. And that's what she's going to demand, not just of herself, but everybody else. And if Diana is able to see this, think of Brianna Stewart. Brianna Stewart's gone at it. She's one of the best players of all time. Diana Taurasi probably called that too. And so for her to say this about Paige at this point, this early in her career, suggests that that is the expectation. And that if that expectation isn't met, then you're going to have to find people that are going to help her get there, because she's ready to go there. She's ready to take you there. All you got to do is just be along for the ride. And if you're not in, then you're out. It's like a fit in or fit out kind of deal. Another recent example of that, Asia Wilson on some just unbelievable college teams, and has now had unbelievable success at the pro level. These players, these generational, all-time caliber players, that is the expectation. And you're either with me or you're not. And if you're not, GTFO. Now, it's way too early in the Wings, their trajectory or whatever to make those decisions. But that is the course you're on. When you have a player this good, that is this train goes in one direction. You're either with me or you're out of here.
Can I ask you a question, Bobby?
Yeah.
How long do you think Dallas fans are going to be traumatized by the Luka trade?
Probably forever.
So do you think that even Wings fans will spend the rest of their life just thinking that Paige might get traded at any time?
Maybe. Honestly, I think that there are a lot of new Wings fans this year that were kind of basketball wandering in the basketball ether, looking for something to cling on to. I guess I'll root for the Lakers maybe, but that violates my spirit. Oh, the Wings just got one of the best players, one of the best prospects of all time. This is a perfect time to lock into the Wings. So I think there's a lot of Wings fans that do have that in the back of their mind. And I think that's natural, right? Your favorite players, odds are they're going to change teams, and that sucks. So you kind of live your life in fear of that happening. But the way it happened down here, I think it's a little spookier, I think.
I feel for you guys, because I can't imagine getting Paige and then spending, going to sleep at night uneasy because I thought I was gonna lose my number one pick. That's terrible.
Yeah, and at least normally it's okay, if let's say Paige is here for 7 years and the Wings don't ever even win a playoff series, they let alone a title, and she's like, you know what, get me out of here. I want to change teams. The fans are able to be like, okay, well, yeah, the organization didn't do enough. Like it is time. But for the org to make that choice, it's just extra. Ugh. It's, ugh, you know. Ugh.
It'll get better one day. Paige Bueckers will win you guys not a national championship, just a championship, and it'll feel a lot better and less terrible that all these things happened to you in the year of 2025.
It might happen soon. Who knows? I mean, you have one of those players. You have one of them. You know, not just a great player. Like you have someone up here. You know, and when you have one of those players, anything is possible. Anything is possible. All right, coming up next, going to wrap up our convo. And, well, this is going to be a really short break, so literally don't go anywhere. I just want to tell you about the merch, okay? Merch like this, it's great. We rolled out some new Stars gear. It's great. I seen some specs for a Rangers shirt that it moved me, all right? I can't wait to wear that one. We got some new MAF stuff on the way. Had a conversation with D-Line and Gina, who design and sell and manage our merch earlier today. We have some awesome ideas. Elijah has some incredible ideas for some city stuff. It's gonna be great. It's a great time to join the merch train. So get you a wing shirt, get you something. Go to alldls.com. You can check out our store at store.allcitynetwork.com. There's a link on alldls.com. They'll take you there as well. And just go exploring. You never know what you might find.
Is it time for us to talk local politics?
It is time. Trigger warning. But also, we're not talking. We're just talking about procedures. All right. We're not talking about who to vote for.
I was going to say breaking news. I'm running for mayor.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't live in the state or anything, you know, so I feel like I'm ineligible, but anyone can run, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you got my vote. Just let me know what you need.
A few T-shirts, actually. That's it.
Oh,
so.
okay. I got dozens.
I know just a place. Yeah.
I got more than 40 shirts.
Well, 40?
Yeah.
Wow, lots to choose from. Well, I mean,
network.com.
And $36 for the year. I mean, dang, that's a pretty good deal. Anywho, though, practice facilities. I'm going to put this lightly. Last year, the Phoenix Mercury spent about 8 months on a $100 million practice facility opening up just in time for All-Star. And I do not believe that Satu Sabally or Alyssa Thomas or Kalia Copper, for that matter, are Phoenix Mercury's without that center. It completely changes the free agency game 100% through and through. Before that, they had to share practice facilities with the Suns, which obviously isn't that terrible because their seasons are in completely different times, blah, 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 blah. But let's say, and you know, La La Land, the Suns made a playoff run. And now suddenly, the Mercury doesn't have their practice facility for training camp. And unfortunately, this is kind of an issue with a lot of teams around the league. And practice facilities are popping up left and right. They just got a new one in Seattle. The precedents and the people that set the standard, Vegas has had one for the last 2 or 3 seasons. The Liberty has quite a facility up in Brooklyn. And then now, obviously, with the Mercury having one here in Phoenix, the competition is rising around the league in terms of, having investments for your players that aren't necessarily a paycheck. And the facility is number one, the most key important piece of that. And so the Wings, are now delaying their facility for a little bit. And I feel like it will inevitably cause some turmoil amongst the franchise. And in the era of movement, which is what we are in right now in the WNBA with the CBA renegotiations and things like that happening over the next 7 to 8 months, it is very important for the Wings to be able to stay competitive in the free agency market. And I don't mean monetarily, I mean everything else. So right now, even though their facility may not be up and running, I think that there are still a lot of things that the Wings could to make it attractive to come to Dallas. And so, I think that the practice facility stuff is important and definitely relevant, but I do think that Wings fans can find solace in the fact that I do think that there are things that the Wings could do to kind of make up for the fact that they don't have one right now.
Yeah. To give a little bit of backstory. So the Wings were supposed to come to Dallas next year and play their right now they play their games in Arlington, which if you aren't from DFW, Arlington it takes longer to get there every day, but it's like 10 miles, 15 miles away from Dallas. And Arlington is a huge city by itself. It's like halfway between Dallas and Fort Worth. So it's like 20 minutes away from downtown. Nearby, but they don't play in a college stadium. So it's a little smaller, it's a little older. They were supposed to move next year in 2026 to the Dallas Convention Center. Has a pretty big stadium. I think it's 12,000 seats or something. Like, it's a pretty big stadium, and they were going to renovate it and dump a bunch of money into it, make it awesome, make it part of an effort to revitalize downtown, which if you do live in Dallas, you know how many times you've heard that we got to revitalize downtown. But the city wants the Wings to be a part of this. However, that got bumped back to at least 2027, if not later, which is a bit of a problem because they need somewhere to practice. The new practice facility was supposed to be adjacent to the stadium, to the arena part of the convention center. And so now it's said that they're going to build a new practice facility off of, if you're from Dallas, you'll know where this is, 30 and Cockrell Hill-ish, which is probably, on a good day, 5 minutes west. 5 minutes, let me pull out my compass. 5 minutes west of downtown. It's like not very far away at all. Pretty nice location. There's a park there. They're going to build it up. They're going to dump a bunch of money into that, build a nice office, practice facility, park area, tennis courts, make it a whole development in an effort to revitalize Dallas. Like, that's just all what it's about. And it could be cool, but it would be cooler if the stadium thing actually happened. Like, if they actually moved to a better stadium. So, but I totally agree with you. And it's even more important than in other pro leagues that WNBA teams have these incredible facilities, because their salary caps and their salaries, their player salaries, even their max salaries are so low right now. I think there will be a large influx of money, especially as the league continues to expand. Cap will go up, salaries will rise. But in the meantime, there are rules into what you can pay players. There are no rules for what you can invest in your facilities, in your travel, in all of the off-court, I wouldn't say benefits, but just the day-to-day things that your players engage with. And so this would be a huge competitive lift to the Wings. It's a bummer that it's working out this way. It's a bummer they're not going to be in that stadium next year. If they are in 2027, that'd be great. But it would be, it's a really much needed, I think, development for them. Because if Satu, that's a great example. She's an all-star caliber player. She's one of the best players in the league. If she cites a facility as one of the, if not the main reason that she left, like, you got to step your game up.
Yeah. And when you have players of Paige's caliber playing for you, you want to treat them, I hate to be that girl, but you want to treat them like family. And right now, when you've got them practicing in places that aren't really theirs, Kalia Copper tells this very funny story about using trash bags and trash buckets as ice bins. And it's a lot funnier to her now that she has a facility and she doesn't have to do that. But I can imagine a world in which you don't find it as funny that you're using a trash bag or a trash bucket as an ice bin after after you've just professionally played basketball. It's one thing if I'm using a little bucket as an ice bucket, but I don't have coordination. So, that seems fine to me. But it's really tough when you have all-star caliber players. I'm marking it. You can bookmark this timestamp. Paige is an all-star this year, and you've got her practicing and God knows where, doing God knows what for aftercare. And meanwhile, in Phoenix, they have a sauna, hot tub, even an on-site pool. They can go outside and play basketball. What other practice? I don't know of any other practice facilities in the WNBA in which you can go outside and hoop. And professional hoopers love returning to their roots, and most of them got started playing outside. So it's just, it's a huge draw for players to be able to come in whenever they want, scan their card, and go get up shots after, let's say they just lost by 10 and they want to go shoot until 2 or 3 in the morning. I would prefer for Paige Bueckers to be able to do that. And Erika Igumbawale, Lord knows how much better her shooting percentage would be if they had a facility of their own. So I just think it's about treating your players the way that, you know, you want your franchise to perform. And so I think with time, it'll get figured out with the Wings. I think they'll kind of be forced to, as you've seen across the league, these teams that haven't figured it out. Connecticut, I'm looking at you. You maybe, your hand gets forced sometimes. And now look at them looking at sale of the team. And so I just think, you know, they have to do right by the players, and then the players will do right by them. It'll pay them in droves in the end. And so I hope for their own sake it works out and they get the facility sooner rather than later. I think the facility is by far more important than moving arenas. I actually like the arena that the Wings play in now. I think it's not quite as small as the arena that the Dream play in, but it's an intimate arena, and I think those are really fun environments. And so I don't want them to get pull their britches up before they get too big, you know what I mean? And so I hope they get all their ducks in a row with the practice facility first, and then bing bada boom, then we can talk about moving arenas and moving out of Arlington. As not a Dallas native, I don't know how much of a big deal it is to drive from Dallas to Arlington, but I would think that, you know, if you're a big Wings fan, it's not anything to drive, 15 miles to get to Arlington and go to the Wings game. So, and I'd imagine it's less traffic in the end, which I personally am a big fan of.
It depends. It's there's traffic everywhere down here. It's pretty brutal. It is
I'm gonna have to come through.
For me personally, I could just walk to City Hall and the Convention Center from here. So I would love it. Let's do it tomorrow. The facility, though, the Dallas Morning News, there were a couple articles in the Dallas Morning News this week about it, and they say that the facility will be ready by next year. So hopefully for next season, you're good, which is great because that'll be whenever you're making free agent pitches. Like if Paige, and especially if Paige and Erika both become this backcourt that Wings and, no pun intended, that Wings and Bigs want to play with, you have the players to do the pitch, but you also have the facilities to do the pitch too. And you got the stadium. And you got fan excitement, and you have the DLLS Wings podcast. Like, there's so many recruiting tools, so set yourself up for success. I totally agree. If you build it, they will come.
I mean, when you have the mayor, on the pod giving, good word about the practice facility and good word about the team, making sure that the right players make it to All-Star. What's not to love about the city of Dallas?
I don't know, Elijah, do you have any negative thing? I think Dallas is great. I think that, there is this so Dope Content and Entertainment in the chat says, as someone who covers the team and lives in North Fort Worth, I'm going to hate the move to downtown Dallas. See, that is tough. That's tough because Fort Worth and Dallas are like different states. Like it's so far. It takes forever to get from one to the other. So that part is really, really tough. But yeah, it's just Dallas kind of looks down on Arlington as like the place where Six Flags and the parking lots are. Like it's just a city of parking lots, and like there's just
oh my.
Yeah, Dallas is a little snooty, But also, let's be honest, if you're in your 20s and you're pretty successful and you're very popular and you got a little extra money to spend, Dallas is a great place to live, And so if the players can live in Dallas, work in Dallas, play in Dallas, everything is right here. I mean, it's a pretty big advantage, I think.
Are you trying to convince me to move to Dallas right now?
It's a great place to be. Now, Phoenix is also great. I really enjoy Phoenix. But I'm biased here. I mean, I think Dallas is awesome.
I don't live in Phoenix, so you don't have to say anything super positively about this city.
Well, then Phoenix sucks.
I live 90 miles away from Phoenix, so if you...
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm quite the commuter,
Okay, so that is why like days that you're in the studio it's like a big deal whenever you're in the studio.
That's why I text everything in the morning, and I'm so sorry if the cops are watching this. I'm about to lie. I send everything for the show via my phone while I am driving to the studio, because when else would I even do it? Like, I have a regular job, everybody. I'm an operations manager for a business, and so it's like, yeah, it's crazy, but it's okay. It's all for the love of the game. One thing about me, I'm gonna get to the basketball games.
Respect. How long does it take you to get to the studio?
About 95 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so for here, that's like Dallas to Frisco. It's like 20 miles up the road. It's like an hour and a half.
Also, fun fact, I've made the cross Texas drive numerous of times. And that alone is reason for me to never move to that state. I'm so sorry.
It takes a very, very long time to get anywhere here.
I love driving like 90 minutes and being in a whole new place, or driving 4 hours and now I'm in Vegas, or 4 hours and now I'm in California. I can be in so many places in 4 hours from where I live. It's kind of incredible.
Well, here you can get in 90 minutes. You can get from like I-20 to like 820. It's like you get pretty far.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. This is a fun episode. I feel like this was definitely a top 2 DLS Wings podcast episode. What do you think?
I'm telling you, top 2, not 2.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I feel like separating from number 1, Dorothy was not on the episode with us, but big station announcement. I believe the plan is for Dorothy to be in studio next week. So I think it's going to be like a full house. Let's go.
I don't think that anyone can really feel my excitement radiating through the screen right now. I just think that this DLLS Wings pod is truly going to kick ass. And I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to say that on the air, but it really is going to kick ass. Like me, KG, you, Dorothy. I mean, you get something from every one of us. So I don't think I know that, a certain other podcast started last week, but I think that this is the best Dallas Wings podcast in general, all across the WNBA.
I think that it's one of the top 2 DLLS podcasts.
Ooh.
It's the DLS Wings and DLS Maps. Jeff Kavanaugh's not in the chat today. DLS Cowboys, mid. DLS Wings, S tier.
And I would also argue that this show is top 2 of ALLCITY WNBA content. And
Ooh.
I say top 2 because the other one is also me, so I can't really boast myself off the list, So
yeah,
we're tied for second,
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. Top 2, maybe not 2, maybe 2. Who knows? But either way, we're top 2. Wings have 2 games against the Sky. They're gonna go to 2-0. Let's go. That's the expectation. 2-0. We in agreement?
Mm-hmm. Bark, bark, bark. I'm down for it.
All right. Well, let's go win these damn games.
And until then, I mean, I fear that you are going to tap in with us on Twitter, where we're going to be talking all about it tonight, even though the Western Conference Finals are on. I don't really care about that. I didn't even know that was happening until KG said it. So shout out to him for that. But I'm excited to watch the Wings in the Sky tonight.
It's going to be fun. I will be upstairs. We got 3 TVs. There will be 3 games, 1 on each TV. I'm going to be injecting sports into my veins all night.
Sports ball for life, right?
Let's go. I never stop sports. I love sports. Don't care who knows.
I'm glad that you and I are on the pod too together. The vibes of this pod are just too good.
Yeah,
the Wings got to keep winning so we can keep the vibes up like this. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to have any depressed talks about turnovers or anything like that.
If it's this time next week and they're on like 3-4 game win streak, like get ready. Like one of us is getting arrested. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be running around the mini bar. You guys actually won't be able to find me because the camera's going to be out of focus because I won't be able to sit still.
That sounds awesome. I mean, we got the whole case of Bud Light upstairs ready for stars. If they get knocked out, we got to do something with it.
Okay, I'm on the way, you guys. I'm hopping on the private jet right now. I'll be there shortly.
LFG. Yeah, LFG.
Hell yeah. All right. Are we forgetting anything?
Don't believe so. We will be back next week on a day. We got to find a time that works
a day for certain.
Someone that lives in the wilderness, and for Dorothy, and for KG's house, and for Elijah. And so we'll see. But follow us on Twitter. DLS_wings, I believe, is the Twitter account. Is that right? DLS_wings. To make sure you stay locked in. One last super chat. Classic Staying Lover, $1.99. Let's go with the what is that, a ham bone? Is that what they say in baseball? 4 home runs, ham bone. Is that what it is? Who can know? 3TV Flex. That's right. 3TV Flex, and I got 2 more devices too. I'm absolutely swimming in content. I cannot say how much I love my life.
I just saw somebody in the comments saying they're gonna fund my opponent for mayor.
Really?
This is terrible.
Who said that?
Classic Classic Stang lover.
No, classic Stang lover is a based chatter.
Okay. I'm just, that's tough, you know? I thought that these people believed in me and my ability to run the show. I just feel like if you want Paige Bueckers to stay at Dallas Wing forever, you need me as mayor. So
I agree. I
Yeah.
think that's good. You want a new stadium? Hey, there's one way to do it. All right.
hear me out. Dallas Wings play in AT&T Stadium, one game. Versus Indiana Fever. I mean, the Iowa Hawkeyes could freaking do it, and up in Iowa in the cold. Why can't you guys do it?
I would do that. I'd go. I mean, that would be honestly really fun. that would be really fun. Why not aim bigger than that?
What are we aiming for?
What's bigger than AT&T Stadium? Let's build one bigger than it. New Wing Stadium.
Yeah, I guess if I'm mayor, I can just build a new place. Yeah.
Yeah. The ceiling is the
have
roof.
It seat like 150K. Yeah.
Classic Stang lover. You would have to you'd have to leave the show if you became mayor. That's why.
I disagree. I think that the show would become more prominent if I was mayor. You actually just might see it in more places. Like, check out, I don't know what your news channels are there, but I'm sure like Channel 3 is probably one of them if I were to guess.
We love Channel 8 WFAA around here. We love WFAA.
Channel 8. I'm sure you could catch me on Channel 8 promoting the DLLS sports network, and then we're getting more people in the chatters. I just think this works out really well for you guys, and you're not exactly thinking about it the right way just yet, but that's okay. We'll work on it.
I agree. Someone who is thinking about it the right way before we get out of here, Chloe says, committing voting fraud to vote for you, Erika. See, that is the energy we need to take with us into 2026.
Chloe is my girl. She is, I don't know where she's tapping in with us today from, but I think it's Atlanta. So shout out to Chloe for being with us on every single WNBA show that ALLCITY has. Huge shout out to Chloe for that.
Let's go. All right. Well, this is fun. Let's do it again next week.
On a day. See you then.
We all silly like the mayor.